fans. So I want to talk to you guys about something. How impressive was that victory for Khamzat Chimaev over Kevin Holland? And I gotta say, guys, my personal opinion is it is not as impressive as it is. Personally, my personal opinion, it wasn't as impressive. I know all the outlets of what they're saying. I know it was people like Luke Thomas and Brendan Schaub and all these other guys who are talking are constantly saying how crazy it is, how this guy's going to be a champ, how 100% this was the most dominant victory, and how unstoppable he is, how he's just gonna run through everybody, how everybody in the welterweight division should be on notice. 100% saying all these things. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but I just have not seen it yet. The last time I seen it was against Gilbert Burns. We'll get into that a little bit later. But from what this performance is, it's not about the skills. Like, he has skills. Don't get me wrong. He is a very good fighter and he has a lot of skills. But when you put those skills up, when you put his grappling level up against another non-grappler, of course you're going to look amazing. Of course you're going to look good. So, like, if I would have seen this against someone like a Neil Magny, like a Michael Chiesa, like a Vicente Luque, maybe Jorge Masvidal, the list goes on and on and on. Maybe my tone would be a little different. Maybe I'll have a different opinion and a different outlook from what this performance was. But unfortunately, Kevin Holland, no disrespect, one, he's relatively new to the welterweight division, and then two, he hasn't really beaten anybody in the welterweight division to even say anything. He hasn't even touched anybody in the top 5. I don't even think he's touched anybody in the top 10. Like, I haven't seen a Wonder Boy. I haven't seen a Michael Chiesa. I haven't seen all these other notable names in the damn division. So for anybody to say, "Oh my God, can you believe what he did to Kevin Holland?" Yeah, I can believe it because it's Kevin Holland, who has openly actually said he has trouble with grappling. He actually has struggled with grappling that so much that I think he went to DC and Habib over there in AKA. So, and grappling takes a lifetime to learn. Grappling is not something like you can pick up after a couple of years. It does take quite a few years to really get good. And don't get me wrong, Kevin Holland is a black belt. He's a black belt, but still, that doesn't put him in there as a world beater. That doesn't put him in there. Like, I'm pretty sure you put him in there with someone like a Michael Chiesa or a Jorge Masvidal, somewhere around those levels, that Kevin Holland might struggle just the way he did with Khamzat. And also, guys, remember, this was a short notice fight. Yeah, it was a short notice fight for Khamzat, but Khamzat already knew, hey, this guy's a non-grappler. He doesn't know how to take things onto the ground. So I got to take him to the ground and just get this victory and go home. Call it a day. That's Khamzat's plan. Kevin Holland's plan is, hey, this is going to suck because, of course, he's going to grapple with me. He's going to take me to the ground. He is going to 100% do whatever he can to make sure he gets that victory to the ground because he knows 100% I do not have that high technique, high grappling skill like he does. So, again, it really wasn't as impressive as I'm hearing it. Is it good? 100%. Is it very, very, was it exciting? Sure. 100%. The way he rounded him over, the way he got him to the ground, everything. Yeah, it was a very, very impressive performance. But what I call it, as in, like, he's going to be unstoppable, he's going to be unbeatable. I'm sorry, guys, no. The last time I saw him was against Gilbert Burns. That was the true test because Gilbert Burns is a high-level grappler, is a higher-level wrestler, is very strong, and can strike. And we saw the struggles that we with Khamzat Chimaev. He actually did struggle a lot. Don't give me like, oh, well, I didn't follow my game plan. I just went over there and started, hitting him because I wanted to show that I could strike with him. Well, I'm sorry, pal, but you did try to grapple with him. You did try to take him down, and it didn't work as much. So you did go to your striking, which is fine. It's MMA. You have the ability to take them down to the ground or you have the ability to strike with them. So don't pretend as if like, oh, well, no, I could have done a lot better. I just chose to strike with him. No, Gilbert Burns actually stopped a lot of your takedowns. He actually stopped some of the game plans that you had. Now, the only reason why his coaches were getting upset at him, because, yeah, he was doing it a little too much. He could have grappled more. But I believe Khamzat Chimaev thought about it and he just couldn't do it. He couldn't get him to the ground like the way he wanted to, like the way he was with all of his other opponents. Like, of course, he wants to try to strike a very non-striker. Like, Gilbert Burns is a striker, but not 100%. So, being with that said, I don't think this should warrant him a title shot because I've been hearing things like, "Oh, I would not be surprised if he gets a title shot." Of course. Wait a minute. What do you mean you won't be surprised? Are you serious right now? The guy literally missed weight, and you're gonna try to put him in there with a welterweight title shot? Like, no, no, 100%. You don't do that. We need to see him up in there. And again, title shots on welterweight title shots or any title shots in the UFC, guess what? They're 5 rounds. Have we seen him in one 5 round fight or even scheduled? He's got scheduled for this one for Kevin Holland, 5 round fight. Cool, but didn't go 5 rounds. Have we seen him in a 5 round fight? We've seen him in a 3 round fight. We've seen him what he can do in 3 rounds with Gilbert Burns going all 3 rounds. And I promise you, he did not look as good as he did with Kevin Holland. You know, because again, Gilbert Burns is a much higher level MMA fighter than Kevin Holland. Again, no disrespect, but that's just the facts. So we definitely 100% do not put him in a damn title shot fight. We put him in there with a like I said, a Michael Chiesa, a Neil Magny, maybe a Vicente Luque. We put him in there with guys like someone like that, even grapplers, because I know Neil Magny and Vicente Luque are like high level grapplers themselves. So I would love to see him in there. I would love to see him. Right now, there are even talks about him potentially fighting Colby Covington. Guys, that is one hell of a fight. Really, that is one hell of a fight. And I don't feel he would even survive that because you see what he did with Kevin Holland. Went for that grappling, and against a non-grappler, he couldn't get him out right away. He struggled a little bit. You know, Kevin Holland does have some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, so he was able to stop some of the submissions that he was going to get out. He was able to wiggle his way out here and there, here and there. And I promise you guys, in that first round, if he wasn't going to get Kevin Holland out, and Kevin Holland still had more energy, I believe Khamzat would have been in trouble because he was burning a lot of energy. He was burning it as if there was only 1 round fight. That is it. Like, no, there was 5 more rounds. And if Kevin Holland would have been able to hang on, would have been able to get out of those submissions, then good God, who knows what kind of Khamzat we would be seeing. And I promise you, the outlets and all these other podcasters will be singing a much different tune. So be that as it may, yes, I do believe the fight to make is Gilbert Burns. Colby Covington. But then again, I would not mind seeing a Gilbert Burns rematch either. Put that as a 5 round because how good was that fight? And there's a small percentage out there, but a few people that are saying that Gilbert Burns won. You know, it could have gone that way, sure, but I do feel like Khamzat won that fight. But you do a rematch with those guys, you put it at 5 rounds. Let's see how Khamzat could survive that because we've seen that he was getting hit. Gilbert Burns was getting hit nonstop, and he was able to take those shots. That's something that Khamzat's not used to. He's used to hitting guys and putting them away. He's used to taking them guys down, and that's it. They don't get back up. Gilbert Burns was doing all that. And I promise you that Colby Covington is Gilbert Burns times 10. You know, he has a higher level wrestling, and his striking may not be as good, but he did survive 9 rounds with the champion, the pound for pound. Well, was pound for pound. He survived that. And he has such a higher level grappling. He's been spending his whole life grappling. You know, he has been his whole life doing wrestling. Colby Covington has. So if Khamzat thinks he's going to be able to do that against Colby, and if he does, guys, that is one hell of impressive. That's it. Hands down. Best ever. He is by far going to be the new pound for pound king if he's able to do that to a guy like Colby Covington. But right now, I cannot go off his skills, go off his talent, go off of all this based on his win over Kevin Holland. I'm sorry. I get it. Everyone is impressive. Everyone is excited for this new demolition guy. I guess you could say this demolition man coming over and running through some of these lower end guys. But I really want to see him against a Jorge Masvidal. I want to see him against maybe even a Wonder Boy, against a Neil Magny, I get it, Vicente Luque. I get it. Some of these guys he'll probably beat, and maybe he would. But I still would like to see it. I would like to see what he can do to some of these guys because his fight before Gilbert Burns was against the Leech. Again, a very relatively unknown. Maybe he was barely at the top, that number 10, maybe top 15. Then he goes to Gilbert Burns. Again, very impressive. Number 2. Dude, that was one hell of a fight. Now we need to see him against somewhere in there. But instead, he goes after Nate Diaz, which we know that was 100% a good step up because Nate Diaz's striking is unbelievable. And his grappling, I personally feel better than Kevin Holland's. Way better. Maybe a little bit more dangerous because he's a little more taller and a little more stronger. Kevin Holland is, but I do feel like Nate Diaz definitely has more technique on the ground, and he's able to definitely get to that guillotine. You go in there to his guillotine. We saw what he was able to do with Tony Ferguson. So who knows? Who knows how that fight would have went down? I think maybe that would have been a little bit more competitive fight. I do feel that Khamzat would have ran after him just like he did with Kevin Holland and try to get him to the ground early because again, we talked about this. Nate Diaz is a cardio machine. Nate Diaz can fight all day, all night. We know Khamzat Chimaev isn't the necessary cardio guy. He can bang and he can strike for 1 or 2 rounds, but after that, he was able to survive that third round. But who knows how he can do against a round 4 and a 5. Those are the dangerous rounds. Those are the championship rounds. Those that say you think you have cardio in rounds 1, 2, and 3, maybe 3, but no. Now it's time to see what kind of cardio you have in rounds 4 and 5. And that's what we still need to see from Chimaev. That's what we really need to see before we give him a title shot. And especially with this whole weight cut issue. No. We need to see him against another contender, another guy, another fight night, in a 5-round fight with a more notable name and see how he does with this weight cut. Because you can't put him in there and here we are getting a non-title fight if you put him in there with a champ. If he misses that much weight. If he missed maybe a few pounds, then yeah, I don't see why not. But that guy literally almost is at middleweight. He was halfway to being a middleweight. So no, I'm sorry guys. I do not see the excitement. I see him being really good. I am excited to see the future, but I don't see him being this 100% gonna run over the welterweight division. Like it's no problem. I do not see it, but that's just my opinion. I would like to hear your guys' opinion. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.